So I actually started as a co-op here in 2020. I was part of the first cohort of co-ops in the Burnet, Texas site. I went to Northeastern, but I was trying to get a job that was not in Massachusetts actually, and then landed with Entegris. I'd never really saw semiconductor as an industry I was going to go into, but I really enjoyed my co-op, and then I found out about the program, the ELDP program, while I was there, and thought that that would be a good fit when I graduated, and so I applied.
So I was hired as an ELDP rotational engineer about 6 years ago, and I was able to go through the 3 rotations that they set out for Entegris. You know, you start out in R&D where you come up with how the product starts and what it takes to actually create a new product. Then you go to manufacturing and see how it's produced on a mass scale. You go into HVM, and then you go into the quality department where you deal with all customer complaints for return cylinders or return packages, return products. Or at the same time you deal with outgoing quality to make sure the product's leaving in the right condition and then also returning in the right condition. I was on the engineering team for about 3 years, and then I was recently promoted to an engineering supervisor, which I thought was a really great opportunity for me to show a lot of the leadership traits that I've developed. And I really hope to continue growing into that leadership role and hopefully further and further up into Entegris.
I did 2 rotations in manufacturing just because of some of the reorganization that was going on, but I think it was a really good opportunity. I saw 2 different aspects of manufacturing. I would consider my second more of a CIP kind of focused role, and I got exposure to the whole factory. I think a really holistic understanding. And that holistic understanding of what we're doing, I think, was the reason I was able to go now into product management. So I'm a product manager for deposition materials under Joseph Rivers.
I think one of the things I'm most proud of is a lot of the standardization work we've been able to do between our plant in Danbury, Connecticut, and our sister plant in Jongwon, Korea. You know, we produce a lot of the same materials, but the problem is as time goes on from the initial building of the plant in Korea to now, if we don't keep up communications, our products can start to differ a lot. So I was fortunate enough to be able to travel to Korea, and we've had also some engineers from Korea travel to Danbury, where we've been able to do a lot of the training and standardization efforts that have been really good for, I think, both factories.
When I was in NPD, I was working on one of the processes that goes into the moly production, actually. So that's a really high priority project for our company right now. And I was the only engineer on the project, basically taking something that we'd done only a couple times in R&D, sort of concept and feasibility on an R&D setup, and trying to turn that into a manufacturing process. The Burnet site was going to develop the process, and then I'm actually flying to Korea on Saturday in a couple of days to go start up this project in the Osong plant and help them do their first chemistry runs. I've seen this project through its whole life cycle, from the initial scoping all the way now we're into implementation and the qualification of it. And I think being a part of it through every step of the way, I feel a lot of ownership. And so far, you know, nothing ever goes perfectly, but it's going really well, and I'm really proud of where we're at and that it's relatively on time and helping to support our new factory in Osong.
So I was given the task of being the ergonomics chair, which included basically running a bunch of meetings every year, basically 1 meeting a month with the ergo team, and then taking on a lot of projects and doing a lot of delegation. And since I'm very focused on developing my leader characteristics, I think it was really good for me to be able to take over that role. And at first it was definitely a challenge because it's a position where you don't have authority, but you kind of have to manage through influence, which I thought was something that really helped me kind of learn how to be a leader. And it also really helped me with kind of just project management.
So I'm in product management and very, very new to the role, but it was something I always wanted to try just because I've always considered myself a jack of all trades. I really like to learn about a lot of different things and see as much of any topic, any business or any problem that I can. And I think product management is a really interesting role because you're taking some ownership, but it's still problem solving like engineering, but it's business problem solving and there's some strategy involved. And I think I can take some of my engineering thought processes and bring it into a new space. I think you do something new every day and you're getting exposure to so many parts of the business. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Entegris has done a really good job, I think, giving me a lot of opportunities to succeed and giving me a lot of opportunities outside of your direct management experience to learn how to be a leader. You know, I really want to be a strategic thinker and a strategic decision maker, you know, in Entegris. And I think I do some of that now, but I'm hoping I continue to get those opportunities and I continue to do well with the opportunities that I'm given.
The biggest benefit of the program is no one says no to you. Almost anything can be considered a leadership opportunity. I found that the most impactful work that I did were things where I saw a problem and then I asked to go work on it. Those projects that I worked on ended up being some of the most impactful, some of the most high visibility things that I did for the company in those first 3 years. And I think that opportunity and that flexibility that I was afforded is a lot of the reason I was able to get the job that I'm in now and just get all the experience that I had in such a short time.